this life. The guy sent me an email. Well, Mark, I'd like to hear your thought about the new Mac Mini. What would you do if you were in my shoes and watch up Mac Genius, Coach? The new Mac Mini 2018 was built with the true sense of ignorance and, well, I might add, stubbornness. Now is a good time to ditch this model, to seize the production line. It's time to discontinue this model. In other words, the new Mac Mini has lost its identity, so to speak. Actually, I had decided not to make more videos because you knew the answer. Until one of those tech journalists wrote, I mean, not one of those, but, well, several tech journalists said at the end of their articles about the Mac Mini 2018 that I haven't the slightest, the foggiest, the faintest idea who Mac Mini was truly invented for. Well, my answer to that question is, that repetitive question is that when we trace back to its origin, I know that it's hard for you to swallow. It's hard, I mean, for a lot of people to grasp. The Mac Mini was built for entrepreneurs. Seriously. Well, and it was built as a media hub for individuals. The Mac Mini originally, it was destined, it was meant, it was supposed by a visionary named Steve Jobs at the time to be the least expensive way to replace a bunch of your existing PC computers in your office. In other words, to be the least expensive PC replacement. I mean, at a time, it's in order to proliferate through the market, I mean, including that legendary eMac, the white eMac. And same goes to the existing iPad for education, propaganda, or scheme. How many students in the United States? So, back in 2006, I think, the key phrase was the Mac Mini allows you to reuse your existing mouse, keyboard, and monitor. It's the least expensive way. I mean, suppose you got like 15 PC computers in your office. The least expensive way to switch to Mac, if you're a PC switcher, is to buy 15 Mac Minis. Then you can reuse your existing mice, keyboards, and monitors. And if you want to buy the Mac Mini, I mean at the time, as a media hub, you can hook it up to your flat TV, flat panel television. Well, at the time, the most popular setups that I had seen, they bought the Mac Mini, hooked it up to their TVs, and they downloaded movies like torrent files from like Pirate Bay or some, and they could start watching them instantaneously. So that's a bit of a history of the Mac Mini. And the thing is, I don't read what other wrote. I'm not exaggerating, but the thing is, I could not finish any articles if I believed at the time that I knew better than some of those. The Mac Mini, the new Mac Mini 2018, it's everything but nothing. Again, the Mac Mini, it's everything but nothing, because, well, albeit, I mean, regardless of buying it as a part of your rendering farm, if you're a DJ and you need a machine on the road, albeit small, it's small because it's small, but it's not portable. It doesn't have a permanent internal battery inside. It's bloody small, but it's not portable. You're a DJ, you're gonna have to move from one arena to another. I mean, there are, arguably, I ain't gonna get into the debate, well, better alternatives out there, I mean, that you can buy. I mean, probably half the price of the suggested setup or recommended setup by Apple. If you have been, keeping up with everything, I mean, including watching this, I assume if you're watching this, probably you are interested in the middles of reckoning, contemplating, figure out if I should buy. Well, probably this Chinese looking guy might be able to tailor the right, specs that, kind of bang for my buck or some. If you've been keeping up with everything about Mac Mini, including the event, the presentation, the announcement, its debut, if you've been reading articles on, tech sites, you've been listening to podcasts about the Mac Mini, well, there is a subterranean message, like, in my interpretation, Apple wanted you to buy 3 items simultaneously. I mean, what's the point? Apple was being so disoriented. They wanted you to buy 3 things, or you would be a dimwit. Yeah, seriously. Because in order to make the best possible use of the Thunderbolt, you have to buy 3 items simultaneously. 1, the mighty Mac Mini, ladies and gentlemen. I went to the Apple's proprietary online store and I tried to customize a Mac Mini with modest specs for myself, which, 6 core, 16 gigabytes of RAM. 1 terabyte of internal SSD in a regular bundle, either the gigabit Ethernet thing, in which came out at the end. They quoted me $18.99 plus the LG 5K display on the Apple site for $12.99, and the forthcoming, well, you can buy the existing one, but it's already dated. The forthcoming eGPU from Blackmagic, the Blackmagic for $11.99, the Pro one, which comes to, the sum is, wow, cripplingly expensive, $4,400. And I didn't even mention about the mouse and the keyboard, Final Cut, the genuine copy of Final Cut, Apple Care protection. Apple doesn't give a fucking care of you.
Wow!
$4,400. But the thing is, many tech writers, they have been complaining about the graphic card, the GPU, the graphic accelerator, use the phrase you like, inside the Mac Mini. Why is so sluggish? Why is so slow? Because they wanted to emphasize the benefit of the Thunderbolt 3 port. And remember, the new modular Mac Pro is right around the corner. Well, have you ever wondered why the Retina display on the new MacBook Air 2018, it's so crepuscular, it's dimmer, albeit it is a Retina display, but it's dimmer than that of the MacBook Pro. It doesn't take a professor of economics from probably Stanford or from Harvard to realize why. And you knew it. You know what? There is kind of sanctimonious paradox. And it became, over time, a traditional cliche for every Apple event. Our engineer team had been so hard at work. I am the real American, fight for the rights of every man. We do it for you. Our engineer team had been hard at work. They had been trying to figure it out how to nickel and dime you to death. They have inadvertently overlooked. They took it for granted. They took it for granted. You may have read about it. The Mac Mini, albeit with the revamped ventilation system, the ventilation scheme, yeah. But they have unforgivably overlooked the critical tool to prolong your logic board's longevity, its life expectancy, which is the critical tool called filter. The dust is everywhere. without a proper filter, the dust will gum up your motherboard and it will become exponentially sluggish, retarded over time. That's the thing. Our engineer team had been hard at work. Oh God, balls, in 2014, a new Mac Mini at the time came pre-equipped, perpetually equipped, soldered with what? Quick. Soldered RAM. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, give the gentleman a hand. In 2014, we got a new Mac Mini with solder RAM. And now, the RAM is user upgradable. The slot is modular. What? Give me a break. And the hard drive is soldered. Yeah. This is worse than being held hostage because you are incarcerated. You're gonna have to choose, well, as big as you can afford, but you know, like 1 terabyte to you're confined. Well, you can upgrade or increase more RAM. I mean afterward. But you can increase the internal storage by yourself because it's soldered. Well, the thing is, actually you can, but it's complex. I don't recommend that. In short, I do have a bonus, probably a bonus story, like a short story for you about the existing trend called eGPU or external GPU. And I'm going to talk about the forthcoming, the new, actually it's not new, but it's coming right to the Apple Store. Actually it's available and it's pretty dated, which is the Blackmagic eGPU Pro. Okay. The Blackmagic eGPU Pro, it's $11.99. That's the concept. And it's not modular. Well, let me demonstrate something. Actually, it's a plug and play device. It's kind of like an enclosure, a chassis for a hard drive. This one is modular. See? You can swap the intestine inside for probably larger storage. I mean, this one is 500, 1 terabyte, whatever. This one is not. But there's a way. You're gonna have to break it open, solder. Well, who cares? You got a better solder station. The Blackmagic eGPU is not modular. It's expensive, and it's not that blazingly fast, jaw-dropping fast. I mean, the card inside is already dated. The Radeon Vega 5, 6 things, it's dated. It's antiquated. It's already outdated, outmoded. And for those who are interested in buying the eGPU, the external eGPU, I mean, in the hope that it might well enhance the velocity of the Apple's proprietary application called Final Cut Pro 10, well, you got a sad thing coming because it ain't gonna happen that way. Well, it does support Final Cut Pro, but the card, the eGPU, has been introduced. It's like a teaser trailer for like forthcoming like Avenger, end game or anything. It was prematurely introduced or enticed you that okay, it was going to come, but the proper scripts for the Final Cut Pro 10 that do support this particular eGPU haven't been, proper written. For those gamers, if you probably, I heard one of my clients, he wanted to buy the new Mac Mini, and he wanted to hook it up to his new 4K Ultra HD TV, and he said he might want to add the new eGPU to its setup because this and that, etc. Can play like new, like like Tomb Raider and things. Well, for modern games on the market, for modern graphic intensive games on the market, this card you can get like moderate result. Well, it is not that egregious, but it's kind of neutral. It's not that fast. I strongly recommend you buy or wait for the forthcoming like PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation 4 or the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so before I go, I have a tiny bit of advice for you. The Mac Mini with 6-core processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 1 terabyte of SSD with the new Blackmagic external GPU Pro and the LG 5K display, and the total amount is for three items. If you want to go that path, if you want to go down that road, that bumpy road that Apple suggested, the total amount for 3 of them is roughly 4,400. The base model, the entry level iMac Pro, is $5,000. 32 gigabytes of RAMs, 8-core Xeon processors, the exact same graphic card found inside the Blackmagic thing, 1 terabyte, $5,000. You got the Magic Mouse, the keyboard, everything, 4,000 full plus mouse, blah blah blah. Keyboards pretty close to 5,000. But the thing is, what's the point? You got more RAMs on the iMac and thing, but iMac is a piece of garbage. Well, they did not ditch the RAM slot on the back of the iMac Pro because, well, for the sake of the aesthetic aspect or the new design or anything, they had no choice. They had no choice because they needed more room for new vent. So I gotta go back to my patient, okay? Because actually I am a cardiovascular surgeon, so I gotta go back to my patient who has been suffering with severe atrial fibrillation. And don't buy the Apple Watch for your elderly person. You'll be unwittingly torturing them to death. The screen is so small, and I'll get back to you if this one might happen to reach 1,000 views. Thanks for watching.